In today's unboxing, we take a look at Tiny Epic Tactics and the map's expansion. Let's take a look.
There are hobbyists among us, geniuses with the ability to play any game they want to. In 1978, a corporation known as the Interior isolated a young hobbyist named John and exploited his genius for their entertainment.
Then one day, their hobbyist ran away.
Here we have Tiny Epic Tactics. It is labeled as a 1 to 4 player in a 30 to 60 minute game, ages 14 plus. There are multiple different play styles in here. That is one of the things that I really like about this one. 2 to 4 competitive, 2 versus 2 team, 1 player solo, which of course is what I'm most interested in. The 2 player cooperative, and then 1 to 4 battle mode royale. That is awesome. Then it gives us all of the different features that are within this game. Easy entry, high strategy, low downtime, short play time, high replayability, and it's in a small box. We can see here all of the content, and this I really love. Fantasy Flight Games does the same thing, where they tell you the card sleeve size for their sleeves, but of course they do it based on their things, their color code. So if you were to get Fantasy Flight sleeves, this is nice because they're actually giving you in millimeters what these are, so you can look this up and get sleeves from any source that sells them, within this size range, to be able to sleeve and protect your game. That right there is awesome, especially if you're just buying this and you're picking it up off the shelf, that you can immediately see what kind of a thing you're looking for. Then of course we see a general outline of what the game will look like, and then it's giving a little promo there for the expansion, which we have that we'll be getting to in a little bit. Of course, this one has this sleeve, and the reason it has the sleeve right here is so we can see all of this back box, because as we can see, we actually see gaming parts, gaming components, because this game actually uses the box for 3D terrain. That is really awesome. Within here, there should be more boxes and a map, so you'd spread the map out and then put your boxes around, again, for that 3D terrain. And what works is in here, there should be slip-on covers for all of these. So there'll be a cover that'll slip on to this to change it to this winter or the Savage Lands. So we'll take a look at that again here in a second. Well, let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at the inside to see what we have. And on the inside, that is kind of cool looking. Again, we have a little promo for their expansion. Very nice art. I like that they have something in here. I think they could have probably used this a little better rather than just having the this retail, this promotional for their expansion. I mean, they have it elsewhere. To have another inlet, map tile that you could have somewhere else, where these are 3D. Flip this over. These here are 3D. Oh, you can even see. Well, that's cool. And then here you can even see a door. It would have been very cool as if on this side was the inside of the dungeon and had that kind of a little thing in here. So you could have even played it, like this right here, and could have, so it actually would have been, like here, and then you could bring this over and then come in through it and actually be in that. Would have been a much better use, I think, for this. But it is nice. The box is very sturdy. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I mean, this thing isn't going to break anytime soon. I really like the construction on this box. That's going to hold up really well. I really like that. Well, first up, we have the rule book, and then of course the prologue. scan to watch an instructional video. That is really cool, you know, especially when they go above and beyond to give, you know, more ways to learn the rules, because everybody learns a little different. So if you're going to give me a way that I can go online and watch a video on it, that is super awesome. Prologue. All is quiet in the valley. Mist slowly swirls over the mountaintops and cliffs, and steam rises from the rivers. In this peaceful woodland, there is no indication of the fight that is to come. Suddenly, battle cries echo in the distance, and the sound of shouts and metal clangs thunder across the landscape. On this day, the forces of skilled tacticians from across Ugmore are preparing to take control of this woodland realm, all certain of inevitable victory. All who oppose you don't stand a chance. Glory is at the tip of your sword. Well, let's go ahead and flip through the rulebook and take a look inside to see what all there is. And up first we have the components, and I especially love that they are a pictorial components. It really is going to help when making sure that you have everything, that nothing is missing. That is awesome. And then of course the setup right here, that also is very nice. It again goes into the different game modes, your different stats and everything. That is very nice. Where the different game modes in the rules are, very cool. And then the setup. The variant game modes, here's all the rest. Free for all. Realm builder mode, that's really cool. And then the solo version. And I love how, I mean, it's right here, built into the game from Go. That you have to love. That it wasn't an afterthought or been done by an expansion, you know, added on later. It was here right from Go. That is really awesome. Wow, there's a lot to the solo. Holy cow. Then cooperative mode. And the setup changes. It's probably going to use a lot of solo, just with slight changes. And then a quick reference. The one thing that this doesn't have that I kind of wished was, again, that index. There does seem to be a good bit to this rule. There are so many different variances to the rule, so many different things. It would have been nice to have a little thing that talked about, you know, forests, or that talked about attack, or that it talked about all the different things, and then said, you know, the page number where they all are, because you have, you know, that solo, that player versus player all, so you can, you know, go to all the different little sections that you would see that in there. That would have been especially helpful. Well, let's continue with our unboxing with a quick look over at everything. I am guessing this right here is going to be the little mini expansion that is within this. I'm guessing that because if you notice, the box didn't really close all completely well. And with that being in there, you can kind of see. But additionally, everything is in here separately. These little cards are its own little thing. All of these meeples are their own little thing. This right here has a whole bunch of that all together. So yeah, so I'm guessing this is that expansion. So we'll set that off to the side and look at that last, or second to last. Then we have all of our little wooden meeples, and they have the little screen print on them, so that is awesome. Our small cards, our dice, the larger cards, And then it looks like we already oh, this would be the game mat. So let's go ahead and start with this. There we go. And I'm not, oh yep, different. Yeah, each side is different. So here we go. Side 1. And side 2. So that is cool. And then of course our box. All of our extra boxes, and they fit in here really nicely. I do like to see that. And see here where you can see where they've even done that, where they've put inner dungeons in here. So why didn't they do that here? Oh, missed opportunity right there. I mean, oh well. And that one's got its inner dungeon. And then all of the extra boxes. And this one will probably be the most difficult to show off the inside. But it's got that same really thick cardboard, which I really liked from the box, the main box, which I like to see here, especially if these are going to be game components that are going to be used, moved around a lot. To have this be, you know, a good, sturdy, high quality, I really like that. So then here, oh, that's a cool little castle top. And our final one, the mini. Oh, that bottom one doesn't look, I mean, that's pretty bad right there, guys. That bottom one wasn't put on very well whatsoever. That's all right. All right, so now on to the dice. So they look identical. Let's see, are they? No, they are not, because here this one has a white side. So here we have blue, and they'll have this same right there, and the blue again. But then this one, unless this is just a misprint on mine, and that is supposed to be red. I'm betting that's just a misprint on mine. Yeah, that's supposed to be red. Flip. Yep, that's exactly what that is. Alright, and then we will go ahead and take a look at all the different meeples in here. Okay, wow, that is a lot of stuff. And I'm betting, which right now it looks like I would be wrong, they are not all the same. All right, well, first off, we have this. It's like a damage type token or something. And then, okay, that's just interesting. A ring. Then we have a heart. And I'm trying to leave them here so you can get a sense of size for these because they are so small. And then this quiver of arrows is what I'm guessing. And then we have a flag. And here we go. Wizard. And then for yellow, an archer. And a werewolf. And it looks like these three are going to be identical. So yeah, blue, wizard. Oh, and there's a fighter. Here we go. That's our missing guy. And a fighter. And I think I just saw, yep. And then we have a gray flag as well. But I think those are all the parts. Yep, those are all the parts. The only thing that I wish is this quiver was a little different because it's a little close. I mean, it's a, you know, it's a light green, but since you are using green, oh, and then you have this one that's purple, maybe orange. Orange may have been a better color for that quiver. And then here, this is also interesting because here we have again a red guy and we have a red flag. Then we have a gray and a purple. But our other colors, so this red flag doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me either. And looks like one of my guys is going to be broken. Broken bit in here. Red. Here he is. So I'll have to glue him together. Like my knight has already had his sword chopped, so hopefully that's just a little bit of wood glue and that'll be back to normal. Other than that, everything looks pretty nice. Like I said, my only real worry, you know, other than the broken guy, is with some of the color options that they have chosen in here. Next, we're going to take a real quick look here at the Lantern expansion. If I remember right, that's the name of it. I'm sure it's got the name here on there. We'll check for a minute. I do want to kind of leave the cards for the end because usually if there are spoilers, it's going to be within the cards. So if I want to try to say as spoiler free as possible. This being only 4, I'll go ahead and show you these ones now. But tactic. All right, and then sure enough, Tiny Epic Tactics, the mini expansion. And its gameplay and what it is adding. Then the Lantern quick reference. And let's go ahead and take a quick look at these little wooden meeples. And it looks like we have 2 in here, 2 different types. Yep. So we have the lantern itself and a torch. And then finally, before we get into the cards, let's go ahead and take a look at the maps expansion as well. The one thing, though, that I am a little disappointed in, and let's see if you can tell, is that the Maps expansion box is ever so slightly larger than the Tiny Epic Tactics box. So it'll look weird on the shelf with this one here. I wish, we'll have to look to see when we get inside it to see, you know, what all it is, how it fits in here. But I think they're just, you know, sheets like this or you know, fabrics. I would have assumed they could have made it a little thicker maybe or something and have it, you know, the same size as the box so it'll look better on the shelf. But oh well. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And I was wrong about them being sheets. Okay, there is one sheet. Okay, so there's going to be a new map in here. So there is one for each. Once again, we have our Winter, Lands, and Savage. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Winter first. And we will first take a look at its new play mat. And let's see here. And it is completely different than this one. Wait, maybe not. Here we go. Yeah, completely different. Completely different. So it's not just the same one in, you know, a winter look. So I do like that. It is a different area. And there's its flip side. So now let's get into the boxes. So here we have the small one. You can see it's just kind of opens up, little cardboard box. And let's go ahead and pull that one out so we can get an idea. Oh, and that slides in there real nice. And see, so that will fit in there. So that works nice. Let's see how it is to get it off. Oh, and it comes off nice. So I like that. That's well made, well designed. All right, and get back in the box. And then the next one. Very cool. And then it folds up nicely. Our medium-sized box. That's cool. And then the long. So this one looks like it needs a little help bending into position. That's all right. That one is interesting stairwell. I like that. Or no, it's okay. That's just showing you that there's the door there. If you're looking at the top down. And then finally, the big box. And that was the winter. So let's go ahead and take a look. Put all of you guys back in the box. And let's go ahead and take a look at Savage. Again, we will start with the map. Very cool. And these alone, again, I'm guessing is just going to add an insane amount of playability because each one of these is completely, you know, identical to what's in the box. You have your map, you have all of the covers for all of the boxes, where the only difference is the dungeons, the dungeon tiles on the inside. This would be really the only difference. So each one of these, in theory, should, or the fact that you have 3 now, it should have double, tripled the amount of content that you have for the game. So that is really cool. And there we came. And thus far, I mean, I might just be a dark person. This Savage one is the one that I'm liking the best so far out of all of them, you know, including the base. Just dark and gritty. Oh, that's cool looking, that little statue. And then the long one, like the other ones, need a little help folding the first time. And the big one. But again, I just love this idea of incorporating these little boxes to give that 3D terrain. Because once again, any time that you can add something to your game, whether it's through, you know, miniatures, meeples, 3D terrain like this, just makes your game better. Just incorporates different little things to make it come to life even better, and I am all for that. One of the reasons why I went with this one. And as a quick intermission, I also wanted to talk a little bit about putting these back in the box. They did go back in here very easily. Now, I did not use these a whole lot. Of course, probably during the gameplay, they might get a little more rigid, but they did definitely go back here into the box very easily. They packed up nice. That was a good benefit on here. But again, just with the size, I mean, you can even see in here, there is a room here at the top. You know, they could have easily made this a little wider, made this a little smaller. You know, in here, see if you can even see, right there's a good bit of room right there. I don't think this storage, you know, this packing box needed to be this size. I really wish it was the size here. As a addition, that was also kind of my little intermission to give people a chance. If they were not interested in seeing the cards, you can stop now. And if so, I hope this unboxing has helped you to determine if this is something you would be interested in. I do believe the Lanterns was a Kickstarter exclusive, but I think everything else you can get. And I, again, hope this unboxing has helped you to determine if this is something you would be interested in. Up next, we have the cards that we will be going through. So, here we go. Up first, we will take a look at the mini cards. There are three main types of cards that I could tell. These crystal ones, which have different fronts and backs, and then the solo deck, and then the tactic cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at the other side of these real quick. And these almost look like they are for like a solo capacity, and then the other side was for your variant. Let's go ahead and flip the solo cards. So again, there is their back. And then finally, I'm here. The tactics. And here we have our regular size cards. They all have different backs and fronts. These look like it is our turn or control counter cards, where you probably have for your multiplayer game on one side and then your solo adventure tracker on the back. And then here are all of our characters within the game. So we will go ahead and start with him and flip him right over. Now they do look about the same front and back. So, oh, here we go. So here, so the one side is for solo and the other is probably for regular adventure. That is really cool. I like that a lot. And I actually do really like this cartoony art, very whimsical. It kind of fits the narrative of the game and the the box and everything that's going on. And everybody here has their own stats, their own abilities. That's actually quite a bit. Without actually playing and diving into the rules, to be able to see each of these, so many characters with all of their different little stats and abilities. England. And then our final guy. Well, that is everything for Tiny Epic Tactics and its expansions, the map that you can get retail, and then of course the Kickstarter exclusive that came in the box. And I hope this unboxing has helped you to determine if this is a game that you would be interested in. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.